Alright, this is a bit of a random video, but what you're about to watch is basically a compilation of mini videos that weren't long enough to be their own shit. I kinda all just throw them in here, so enjoy. Akutami is on a legendary run with these JJK chapters. Battle after battle, JJK is continually cemented to history as one of the best of its generation, as well as of all time. This is probably in my top 20 to 25, and definitely in my top 5 shonens of all time. I already made a video about how Yuta is the GOAT, but I'll reiterate it here. For all y'all in the back that didn't hear me, he's him! All-encompassing, unequivocal love is a pretty redundant name for a domain expansion, but what definitely isn't is this constant repetition of the fact that Yuta is the GOAT, okay? There doesn't exist a counter argument. He is literally the GOAT. Firstly, I really like the design of his domain. I'm really not sure what all the architecture is about. It just kind of looks like a bunch of fragmented pillars to me. Also, isn't the tied string a marriage thing or a fate symbol? I'm pretty sure it's a marriage thing because he kind of like channels the ring's energy to expand his domain. But obviously the most standout part of the domain is the fucking swords. There must be at least 200 of them littered around the entire domain. And it gets even crazier when it's revealed in a later scene that each sword is a sort of medium to one of his copy techniques. He grabs his sword and is able to use the icebreaker, while before he had to use Rika's in order to use that curse technique. This means that the motherfucker has hundreds of curse techniques at his disposal. And there's still some motherfuckers out there that will stare at me dead in my eyes and say,
Yuta is a fraud.
And now you finna go crazy on Sukuna with Yuji. Yuji is finally given a chance to redeem himself after taking numerous L's, and it's time for his punches to finally seize Sukuna's soul. Best believe as soon as Yuji cops even a single W, a video is getting released, so subscribe to the channel so you can watch that later. Kajaku's death is a pretty satisfactory end for him. His entire character is based on his curiosity and thirst for knowledge, and to die never being able to witness the merging between Tengen and humanity is pretty ironic. And that last comment about him being glad his last fight was with Takaba just makes that entire battle even more masterful. But a series that has a run more historic than JJK is, of course, One Piece. That has been such a packed arc full of revelation, fights, characters, everything you can dream of. But an aspect of this arc that I wasn't expecting was the incredibly emotional character arc. It deserves a video of its own, but the Kuma backstory did indeed bring me to tears. It was already up there with the death of Going Merry on the first read, but upon a reread, it's easily the most touching arc of the story. And Kuma, in a genre saturated with deadbeat dads, showcases his unrelenting sense of fatherhood. Even as a clone who's lost all autonomy, this dude still manages to protect his most beloved. But of course, the chapter offers even more because Oda always stays cooking. Firstly, the ancient robot seems to be stern again and will probably shake up the entire arc. Secondly, and more importantly, Dory and Bragi show up again and are going to take the crew to Elbaf to start the long-awaited Elbaf arc. I want to bring up a couple points here. I hope this is the point where Usopp gets significantly stronger, because all the way back at Little Garden, he expresses his desire to go to Elbaf, and he's long overdue for a major power-up. So yeah, Elbaf arc, Usopp, get in Conqueror's Haki. I don't care what you say. I just want to quickly mention a small problem I have with the series right now, and that's metavision. It was initially portrayed as a skill exclusive to Asagi and Kaiser, and just started popping up everywhere, like with this new dude and Nico and Hiyori and etc. One of the most thrilling aspects of this manga is how all the players have their own unique, special skill that they hone on themselves, and Asagi is kind of losing his individuality here. Now, I say this is a small problem because it's honestly not that big of a deal. The matches are still going to be exciting as hell. Even in this chapter, Rin completely shutting down Kaiser's god tier shot is cold as hell. It's the equivalent of Aizen interrupting Ichigo's soundtrack. So yeah, I'm not expecting the entire series to dip down in quality, but it's still a problem I have in the series. Kagurabachi has been gradually building its way up to the hype it received, and these last 2 chapters have been the peak of this series so far. Sojo vs Chihiro has been some of the most entertaining shit I've read in the past month, but a separate video will probably be made on that, so I want to talk about the finer aspects of the latest chapters. I really like the world building of the series so far. I'm loving the concept of the underbelly of Japan, the black market type shit, meaning the supernatural. It reminds me of a modernized Magus Bride. There's a web of politics and connections that I can't wait to be unraveled. The process of that is gradually occurring. Who is using Sojo as a puppet? Who is at the top of the Hishaku? What are the abilities of the Shinichi? What the fuck is even gonna happen at the auction? These are all interesting questions that the series poses for us. The paneling during this chapter was incredible. When Chihiro activates Kuro, we see him doing his work from the perspective of a goldfish outside the window. It makes the sequence so satisfying to watch. The flow is amazing. Also, let's not forget that this dude is the rawest man of all time. Lastly, I just want to mention that I really like him as a protagonist. He's not the typical hot-headed ball of energy. He's more of a calm and collected demon. Reminds me a lot of Sakamoto and just a touch of Gabimaru. And yeah, Just a couple series I want to talk about. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace. Okay, I lied. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and this is completely random, not even related to the video, but while I was editing this, I saw this on Twitter and wanted to talk about Overwatch 2 and Cowboy Bebop are collabing. Bro, when I was watching that trailer and I heard the I was hit with an instant wave of nostalgia. You know why? Because I remember watching Cowboy Bebop and fucking dropping it. I watched 3 episodes and I dropped that shit. I don't even remember why, because I remember I really like the aesthetic. I really like, well, basically everything about it. But for some reason, I just stopped watching. I don't know why. But that's gonna change. And depending on if it's good, who knows, I'll make a video on it. But anyways, actually this time, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.